You have reached the Geek Elite. Good luck.
Do you like comic book movies, particularly Marvel films? Because if you do, hi, my name's Ian. I hang out with Mitch. We take a journey into mystery every single Wednesday. You can watch us live. You can listen to us later in the car when you're by yourself and you don't want to tell people you listen to podcasts about Marvel movies. That's fine. No judgment. But we're here for you. We watched all the MCU. Now we're going through all the old ones. So buckle in. Mitch is going to take us there. Boom. That's your ad right there.
John. I'm talking about condoms, John.
Oh. Welcome back for another shift on the Geeks Watch. We're here and we're talking about Sweet Tooth, episode 4?
5.
What's in the freezer?
What's in the freezer?
What's in the freezer?
What's in the freezer?
I mean, are you VHS Gemmers going to be doing 7 anytime soon?
Oh, I don't want to put myself through that.
I did watch it on VHS actually, so
I did
it qualifies.
Yeah,
I watched it on HBO probably 4 years ago, and for like 5 weeks I was going, "What's in the box?" every time we got back.
Step 1, cut a hole in the box.
That's a different box. Yes, that's right. We're talking about Sweet Tooth, episode 5, What's in the Freezer. But as always, first we're going to get into our week's watch as soon as Steven introduces everyone.
I didn't think of new ones again.
You're supposed to say lovelies.
These are all of my lovelies.
I mean, that doesn't come off as well as you think it does.
I feel slightly trolled.
I didn't come up with any kind of introduction for everybody again. I don't know. You know what? This is an opportunity for all of you. Introduce yourselves. John.
Hey guys, this is John, aka Thunderfingers, and it's not for the reason you think. And I'm just happy to be here, guys. I've had a good feeling about today for some strange reason, and I can't wait to dig into it.
Mm-hmm. Jess.
Hi, I'm Jess, and I'm tired. So I can't beat John with that intro.
Elizabeth.
I'm Elizabeth, and I'm really wishing I opted to drink before this.
Same.
Mitch.
I'm Mitch, and I'm like to party.
I knew someone was going to do it.
You have to do it.
And it's me, the most peppermint gentleman, Stephen Clark.
All right. Let's get into our week's watch. Elizabeth, what did you watch this week?
So my week's watch, luckily or unfortunately, since I wasn't here last week, I get to use a previous week's watch. We went and saw Free Guy.
Ooh.
Which was hilarious. Although it had way too many feelings in it for me. Like I was supposed to get to just go and
Am I gonna cry?
laugh.
Am I gonna cry? It didn't look like it was going to make me cry. I will cry at anything that's slightly sad, though. So
I was going to say, Jessica, you will probably cry. The rest of us, you're not going to cry, but it's definitely going to pull on your heartstrings. So it made me feel more than it was allowed to. Yeah. But overall, it was excellent. So I enjoyed it quite a bit. Yeah.
What did you think of Ryan Reynolds' performance?
I thought he did great.
Okay. Steven, I know you also watched this movie.
Yeah, we also watched this one. I think that we got all the Ryan Reynoldses in here. We got like 2003 Ryan Reynolds, like current Ryan Reynolds. There's a lot in there. Like honestly, there was a little bit of waiting Ryan Reynolds. Honestly,
I mean, are you saying that Ryan Reynolds has range, or are you just saying it's different ages of Ryan Reynolds' sameness?
That one. Like Ryan Reynolds can be like a great actor, give like a lot of depth to a character if he chooses. But then there's also the time where he's just like, I'm a greased up little panda and I'm coming at you like a spider monkey. Like he has those kind of moments. like that was in here.
I mean, you also got super buff Ryan Reynolds, like
which was entertaining.
That was funny as all get out.
I wish that had been spoiled in the trailer.
Yeah, I wish it hadn't been spoiled in the trailer too.
Yeah. One thing I think I said to Mitch about this movie was that it was basically 4 other movies. It's a little bit of Ready Player One, obviously. Mm-hmm. It's some Truman Show, and the other 2 that I can't remember right now. But this isn't my week's watch, so that's okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, it made me feel like I'm supposed to be nicer to my Google Home.
Yeah.
And not get so frustrated when it won't turn on the lights for me and I have to say it 4 times. But yeah, no, I mean, unfortunately, as always, I don't do these justice because if the acting's either good because I enjoyed the movie and it didn't bother me, or the acting was so bad that it took away from the story. And that's about as far as I get.
What kind of video game would you say Free City is, Steven? Like
it's
what compared to
it's Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah. It's
I didn't watch it.
No, it's isn't. I thought it was like PUBG or the other one.
No, because there's also like a bunch of like crimes and missions and stuff, like the bank heists and everything.
Yeah, but the guy like they parachute in or they skydive in, isn't that like a thing?
There's references to other stuff for sure.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like they end up using like gliders and parachutes and different things. But
can't you do that on Grand Theft Auto 5? Or 6?
You can do anything. You can do anything in GTA.
All those things in GTA now, yeah.
It's Skyrim.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the one thing you don't see in this video game world is like dragons and stuff.
Yeah, which I think does also lend itself to being GTA. And then I think their game was supposed to be like a weird third-person Second Life.
Yes. Yeah, that the game that they made originally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was definitely supposed to be some kind of Second Life kind of game. I had another thing I was going to ask about that, but now I don't remember. Oh, I mean, I think at this point, this is probably the most successful video game movie that's not about an actual video game.
Oh, did they make bank off of it?
Yeah, they've been making bank off of this movie. Like even to the point where on Friday the Friday it released, they announced there was going to be a sequel.
Which I don't understand.
I don't really know where they're going to go with the sequel for this movie. I mean, the thing is...
Well, I mean, you can do a sequel. I assume with a movie, like I haven't seen it, but I assume with a movie like this, you can do any range of sequel. Like it just has to be another version of the video game. It doesn't have to be the same characters even to still be considered a sequel.
True.
Yeah. I have a theory on a sequel.
I don't know how you get rid of Ryan Reynolds.
You don't. He's in it.
It's going to be like Wreck-It Ralph 2. It's going to be him going to other video games. Or it will be him coming out of the video game to the real world.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Like Tron 2.
Tron Legacy,
2.
yeah.
Yeah.
The better Tron.
Yeah.
I agree, actually. Story-wise, yes, Tron Legacy is the better Tron.
It's a good movie. And Tron Uprising was a good show. Taken before its time.
I need to watch that.
True that.
All right. Well, Free Guy.
Free Guy, that's my week's watch. It's in theaters.
It's available in theaters right now. Which it is a Fox Studios movie, or 20th Century Studios movie now, is what they called the Fox 20th Century. So it will be available on Hulu eventually, because that's Disney.
Yep.
All right, Steven, what did you watch this week?
I feel like Elizabeth and I kind of swapped things for this one, because this series that I'm about to talk about might be more of a her and Jess thing typically.
Interesting.
But I watched The Chair on Netflix with Sandra Oh. In the show, the story for the thing is that she is taking over as the chair of this an English department at a college. And it's not necessarily cleanly comedy or cleanly drama or anything, but they deal with interesting subjects without it being too intensely drama or heavy-handed in anything, while still injecting drama and injecting comedy into this kind of thing. It's really good. I really, really, really like it. I think we're 2 episodes deep so far.
Is it? Did you watch any of what was the last show that Sandra was on that she's gotten all the Academy Awards for?
Oh man, I forget the name right
Killing
now.
Eve?
Yeah, Killing Eve.
Yeah.
Did you watch any of that?
No, I watched other shows that I think would be paired with it, like in the same kind of section of TV, but not that one.
So I remember Sandra originally from Arliss on HBO. So I always think of her as a comedic actor.
Wow.
And then
me too.
And then she ended up on
Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy, thank you. Yeah, where she's super serious all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I did like her on that though. She was actually one of my favorite characters. So I
she was
stopped watching it. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Killing Eve came along, and she's getting all the awards for being dramatic. But I assume there's some comedy in that, just because it's the subject. Can't be too dour all the time. So,
but like honestly, everyone that's in the series, I think, is perfectly cast. There's quirky characters, grounded characters. It's really good. I don't think that there's anyone that I know individually that I wouldn't recommend this series for in one way or another.
Interesting.
Something you want to check out?
Yeah, sure.
I'm intrigued.
So this show has nothing to do with Clint Eastwood at the RNC then.
This is correct.
No.
John, I really appreciate that that's where your brain went, because that's where mine went when Steven announced the title. I was like, I guess that would kind of be my thing. I'm into politics.
How many years ago was this?
That was like 2009 or something.
Yeah. No, it was a while ago.
It was 2008, yes.
It's time for it to come around.
I mean, you know what? Honestly, I didn't check the IMDb. Like, the chair from that might have been in the background.
Really moving up.
Yeah.
That chair's going places.
Did you have another one, Steven, or was that it?
There was something else, but I can't remember.
So The Chair is on Netflix right now.
Mm-hmm.
Jessica,
wait.
Oh,
I should say, I did watch The Kissing Booth 3. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's also on Netflix. I mean, how is that story after 2 sequels?
Yeah. No, I think they bring things to an interesting close.
Oh, it's the end. They decided a trilogy was enough.
Yeah, they're based on books. So.
Yeah, they're based on books, so it's trilogy because it's YA books, and God forbid you don't do a trilogy in YA.
I mean, it's pretty much required.
Yeah.
Okay, the killing booth, the kissing booth.
That could be an interesting story.
Kissing Booth 3. What's that actress's name? It's Jamie King.
I thought it was Haley something.
Steven was not prepared for this because he wasn't going to talk about it.
Here, we'll see here.
Just filling the time.
Move forward. Yeah.
Joey King.
Joey King. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Glad to know
it
your
was
nails,
Haley.
Jessica, are not preventing your speed typing.
All right, Jessica, what did you watch this week since Steven cut you off a second ago?
Oh,
Yeah,
it was fine. So I finally got around. Well, actually, I finally convinced my parents to watch something that was new instead of rewatching the same movies over and over again for Movie Sunday. And we watched the animated movie, The Mitchells versus the Machines.
Oh,
So good.
I adored it, and it was so good. And my dad loved it, and my mom loved it, and I loved it. So it's like just that perfect. It just had that perfect humor for a family. It was great. It was wonderful. I would watch this all the time, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was wonderful. It was just well written, hilarious. That Sony Animation is just booming right now, and they're doing great. And I'm kind of glad because Disney could use some competition. So I love it. It was great. And then I've had to switch to a morning shift after not doing it for a very long time at work. So I needed help getting to sleep. And my mom actually told me about, it's called Deerfield Beach. It's in Florida, and they have live cameras on their beach, but they also have a live camera that's underwater at the end of their pier. It's like 360, and there are so many fish. Like, I was surprised as somebody who has been to a beach in Florida how many fish were that close to a pier. Like, there's some weird looking fish too, and there's an octopus, and I was like, there's this many fish. And like schools of fish, and they get sharks every once in a while. It's it's cool. Like, you know, there's fish in the sea and the ocean, but you still don't think there can't be that much. Like, we're killing the world right now, right?
I've heard that there are plenty out there.
Yeah. But yeah, and it has like a cool bubbly noise, so it's great like sound to like fall asleep to, but it's like cool to watch and then just slowly fall asleep too with the sounds. So yeah.
Yeah, someone else
I could ever. Oh.
Sorry.
No, you do it.
All right. I just said someone else told me about on Pluto TV. There is a channel where there's a GoPro that's just attached to a train that goes around some European country or city or something like that. And they were like, it's just so relaxing just to watch the footage of this train going around. So I can understand it.
Yeah, and now there's like a ton of them because like when you watch one thing on YouTube, it's like, look, you would like this. Like there's one in Hawaii that's like beautiful. It doesn't sound really cool, but just beautiful coral and pretty fishes. And there's beach one. There's like an Oregon beach one. It's like they're just all over the place. These like live feed relaxing things. So, but Deerfield Beach is in Florida, and half of my family's from Florida. So, yeah.
I don't think I could fall asleep with that. Honestly, I would keep watching it. Like, I'm gonna be the first person who like catches sight of Godzilla. You know, like, I in my experience with seeing any kind of 24/7 feed thing like this, I'm just like, I know I've been watching this for 13 minutes, but when I look away is when the good stuff will happen.
Yeah.
But is it live 24/7?
Yeah, it's live.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's live 24/7 from what I understand. Even when they clean it, other than maybe if they have like a maintenance day where they have to take the camera out for something. But then you have the one that's on the beach and on the pier too. So
Mitch asked like he was like an interviewer on like CNN who was like, got you.
Got him.
You know me and my gotcha journalism.
Like 100%, like you were like a senator trying to catch Fauci in something. It didn't work.
Like, it's the title of your show.
Okay, so that was
YouTube, and then Mitchell's vs. Machine is on Netflix. And then I have finished since last week She-Ra. It was great and wonderful. I loved it. I do want more from it, and I think you could have like at least like a movie or something just to give me even more happiness, basically. But I don't need it. I just want it. But so I have watched, I think, the first 2 episodes of He-Man I can't remember. Whatever the newest He-Man thing is that everybody's all in an uproar about.
So Masters of the Universe, because there's also a He-Man in the Masters of the Universe coming out on Netflix, which is animated, which Steven and I both found out this past week. And we were like, why? Why would you split your audience that way? And when you have a brand new show already out called Masters of the Universe.
It's weird.
So they just add "and the" to it? Is that the difference? And okay. And then it's He-Man Master. Okay. So, so She-Ra, you didn't have to know anything about He-Man because it took place on its own planet. This, I feel like I had to know about He-Man to get, like, not that it's hard to get, like, hard to figure out by the first episode, but I was still like, oh, this girl doesn't know anything? Like, how does she, and I was very confused over how she didn't know that Prince Adam was He-Man. Spoiler alert if you don't know. But I kind of liked, I guess I kind of liked why all the men are in an uproar about this, is that like it was her going, what do you mean I didn't know? Like, I'm just going to go off and do my own thing. And she becomes kind of the hero of the show. It seems like. I'm only 2 episodes in. But
yeah, honestly, I remember I watched the old He-Man cartoons when I was young, but I didn't follow it. I didn't like get into it. And I didn't realize that people didn't know that Prince Adam and He-Man were the same person. Like, I honestly thought everybody knew that. They look exactly the same.
If you know anything about He-Man, it should be that.
Why would I? Oh, yes. Yeah, I was talking about me, like, not knowing that.
I don't, but yeah, I got it like right away. It was kind of, I don't know, kind of sad that his mom knew, but his dad didn't. But it was kind of cool that his mom knew, like, because like moms know everything. But
I also felt like that it sucks because and that's in the first episode, so it's not spoiling anything. But like the dad's like, what?
What?
My son is worthless. He doesn't do anything with his life. He-Man's great. How can they be the same person?
and I'll admit, like all I knew really of He-Man was Skeletor because of
That's
the
fair.
memes and specifically what meme. And so to me, he's like a hilarious character. So I couldn't take him like destroying the universe seriously. Like I was just laughing the whole time. Like this guy's hilarious, even though it wasn't hilarious at all.
Yeah, I feel like Robot Chicken has really made Skeletor a lot more of a joke and comedy and stuff. Like in the old show, he still made a bunch of jokes and stuff, but he was still all about destroying.
Yeah, but it
getting
doesn't.
The power, I guess.
It doesn't make sense because I guess I didn't understand what Grayskull looked like. I just knew that He-Man had the power of Grayskull and She-Ra had it, which you didn't need. Like in She-Ra, I was like, "What the heck is a Grayskull?" But like why is that? Like it just seems like such a weird name and such a weird place to be the good guy power. Like I'm just like something's not computing here because it looks like. I always thought Grayskull was the place Skeletor was from.
That's fair. I think it might also be
seems like a dark place, but
and honestly, I don't know how much Kevin Smith and the other writers for the show like added into the mythology or not, because I'm sure there's a lot of it, and I'm sure John could talk to it about a lot more of it. But it seems like a lot of the stuff they added in or they had in the show just was like real deep dives or real like fleshing out a lot of the story.
Well, John, there was an interview that Kevin Smith did as part of one of the Rooster Teeth podcasts. Did you get to hear that one by any chance?
No, I haven't seen that one.
In the thing, he talked about the fact that the guy who kind of spearheaded the development of the series with them, he was basically like, no, like these stories were very real to me when I was a kid, even with like the doofy stuff happening, you know, like Man-at-Arms was like a badass, you know? And then he said that was the kind of energy they wanted them to bring to it for this new series. And so they treat it as pretty much an extension of the pre-existing stuff, but taking it dead serious.
That's what I've heard. I haven't seen it yet. I've seen a lot of the complaints against it, which I'm like, okay, you know, it's a cartoon, guys, you know, don't take it so seriously. So I don't know. Basically what you've just said is all I know about it, is that it's a continuation of sorts or a spiritual successor, so that it acknowledges the previous series, but doesn't really hold to it like airtightly, I guess.
Well, it's like everything changes in the first episode, is what I would say without spoiling it. Like it's He-Man, and then He-Man's worst day, and then here's what happens after He-Man's worst day. And everybody's pissed because how dare He-Man have a worst day, I guess. I don't know. How dare a woman?
How dare He-Man do the thing that he's made to do? Protect all of Eternia.
Yes, which is interesting because it's legit what She-Ra does. Like she is the self-sacrificing. I mean, still happy ending, but she embodies the whole self-sacrificing to save the universe idea by the power of Grayskull. Like, so like, why wouldn't He-Man be the same concept? Why is that women are always allowed? No.
It's more. Well, her whole thing is a little more complex.
It's another planet, right? Isn't it?
Yeah,
they got separated as kids.
Yeah, she gets taken to this other. I can't remember the name of the planet, and She-Ra to this other planet, but she's still named Adora, which I didn't realize Adora was legit from He-Man until I think I read something about He-Man, and they mentioned Princess Adora, but she was like taken from that planet to another planet in another dimension, I think, or in a hidden dimension, something like that. I
mean, I really feel like the mom and dad and He-Man should be more broken up about that.
I don't know.
The story could be in there somewhere.
So far, sure. I will say I'm only 2 episodes in. So far, I like She-Ra and its message more than I like He-Man's Masters of the Universe message. But I don't necessarily hate the message. It's just different writing style. I like the art style. I just kind of like She-Ra's acceptance messages a little bit more, which this is very.
I never watched the Princess of Power show, but I did watch the Masters of the Universe. But I think I obviously I didn't watch the Princess of Power, but I liked the art style in the Masters of the Universe better. Personally,
yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that's also on Netflix as well as The Mitchells versus the Machines, and then your other show.
Deerfield Beach is live on YouTube. You just search Deerfield Beach. Yeah.
John, what did you watch this week?
So I've watched the first 2 episodes of Marvel's What If.
Ooh.
Oh,
I haven't seen those yet, but you can spoil it. It's okay.
Either one of them?
I had a weird week, guys. I'm sorry. It's on my list.
Like, I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, so this show is fantastic. The first episode, I don't think I'll be spoiling too much if I just kind of give the general gist of what the 2 episodes were.
I already know what the general gist of episode 1 at least is. So
yeah, episode 1 was what if Peggy Carter took the super soldier serum instead of Steve Rogers, and episode 2 was what if T'Challa was taken by the Ravagers and became Star-Lord. The first one is just pure fun. I mean, that episode made me think we need a Captain Carter movie stat. Like, she needs to have her own spin-off. If this storyline, this universe needs to be expanded. I just can't tell you how awesome it was to see the Peggy Carter character kicking ass. And essentially she becomes Wonder Woman in a somewhat literal way at one point.
That's pretty cool.
And it's twisted just enough that it's like, okay, I see where the differences and the liberties are, but it also still really works for me. Like what happens with Steve, he doesn't end up getting put to the wayside. He ends up still being very much a part of the crew in a slightly different way. And it was just a damn good time. This is like, damn, this would have been a great standalone movie in and of itself. The only complaint I have about these 2 episodes so far, and I have a feeling we're going to see this throughout the series, is that because it's only like half-hour episodes, basically, you have to kind of truncate a lot of the plot. So they take some shortcuts with things. So like in the first Avenger with Captain America, you get a really clear explanation why he gets the shield. And this one is like, here you go, a shield.
Yeah.
And that's kind of prevalent throughout the first 2 episodes where they just kind of jump to something. So like there's no real reason why T'Challa is called Star-Lord.
Yeah.
As far as I know, it's just he just got that name as opposed to, it being kind of like a thing that his mother had with Peter Quill. But yeah, with episode 2, it being T'Challa being Star-Lord, that is an incredible turn of events for how everything would have been. Like, honestly, I'm like, this is like a fever dream of a plot. Like, somebody watched Guardians and T'Challa or the Black Panther back to back.
Yeah.
And then maybe like
drunk
took some acid or something. Yeah. And their brain just combined them into like a fever dream. This would have been the result. And it's pretty kooky. Like it's got some elements in there that I'm just like, wow, like this would have totally changed everything.
You know what the strangest thing about that episode is that you find in that episode?
What's that?
A super buff collector. That's what. That's the weirdest
What was
thing.
that? Everyone else is pretty grounded and realistic, but they were like, "Nah, Benicio del Toro, jack it up."
I've
heard cold like a glove.
I've heard that the collector is supposed to be like super powerful and strong though, but we just never see him shirtless in his 3 appearances in the MCU. But
yeah, but
he is
I've
supposed
seen
to be
Benicio del Toro before.
Oh.
So.
Well, the person, yeah, but I mean, the character, I think, is supposed to be like. I mean, he's pretty ancient, not like celestial level, but he's pretty up there as far as like,
That's fair.
Being an ancient being.
How did you feel about the times when you didn't have the people who played the characters voice them? Because there's only like 4 times, I think, throughout all of it so far where we don't have the people. And some of those are very odd. Like,
I was gonna say I still love Ross McQuan as the new Red Skull. Like it's very much him still just doing Hugo Weaving.
Mm-hmm. But
it sounds more consistent though.
Yeah.
With there's the guy, he's one of Peggy's whole squad whose name I can't remember.
Neil McDonough?
Yeah, thank you. You knew exactly who I meant. Yeah. He's still in there, but then we didn't get like Chris Evans for actual Steve Rogers.
That wasn't Chris Evans?
No,
it wasn't.
Thank God.
No.
I was like,
Yeah.
Mitch said it was, and I was like, this sounds so bad. This is not.
Yeah, no, it wasn't him for that.
good.
And then there was
Well,
the whole
also-
thing for Batista.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
as the
Batista was
bartender?
different. That one was different.
Well, it's weird because the person got the intonation and the timing of things right, but the voice is different.
They probably
And
got
there was-
the person that does the Drax the Destroyer on the animated show for Disney.
That might be.
Yeah, because it still has a through line connection, but it was just weird because there was a whole thing about it where someone asked him like, "Why didn't you voice him for What If?" And he's like, "We'll start with the fact that nobody asked me."
Well, I mean, he's probably on Disney's shit list after that petition he started.
But but then he also did the promo for them for the streamer, like where he's in the canoe on a river. Like that's straight up advertising for Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN.
Maybe that was a contractual obligation, and this was more like a, hey, would you come and do this, like for a coffee, basically? Like.
Maybe. I just assumed.
Although I'm surprised they got James Brolin or Josh Brolin. Josh
Brolin, yeah.
I'm surprised they got him. I was like, whoa.
But then they didn't get the senator that was in the first Avenger originally, the one that was, part of the first Avenger. Like they got Bradley Whitford to make a new character altogether.
He was great though.
Bradley Whitford is great. Yes,
I'm fine with that one.
Also,
Bradley Whitford.
I saw a meme, and I know you can't really base everything off of memes, but the person that looks kind of like Peggy Carter in Loki in the TVA, like someone was saying that might be the Peggy Carter from this.
I doubt it because she's wearing that blue dress that you see in like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. No, not Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Agent Carter.
Agent Carter, yeah. So I think that would have been just a different variant, not this one. I feel like if it was this one, she would have been either snatched up right after she came out of the pod or wearing the Captain Britain type outfit.
Okay. Were you going to say something, Jessica?
Yeah, because I did a quick Google because I was curious because generally they would try to get it. And it just seems like, unfortunately, because all these people are now famous, like they're busier now. And so it's like trying to schedule a D&D group for like the 20th
Anything ever.
game. Like just sometimes somebody's not going to be there. And that's basically what it ended
I am pretty famous these days.
They got Dominic Cooper, though. Like he came back for Howard Stark, right?
Oh, yeah, and Jimon Hansu.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
what are they doing right now?
it very much is whoever we could get, we got. Like we went out our way to try to get, but if we couldn't get them, we couldn't get them. Like that's what they're saying basically.
They got.
But
like get. Yeah.
Like going to a recording booth and recording lines is not the same as being on camera. Like I feel like people could have done that.
Like, maybe they weren't. Maybe they weren't paying well. It is Disney. Like
this is true. I'm just surprised it's not part of their contract. Like, hey, we got you.
I think their contracts. I know Chris Evans' contract is out. So
yeah, it is.
It was just weird to see Chris Evans in another thing recently, where he did a cameo part connected to Captain America, and then him not voice Steve Rogers in this.
Yeah, but it's
a cameo as himself.
And it may be a friendship thing.
Yeah.
Who do you like?
I mean, if you think about who that actor gets to show up in other movies for brief cameos too.
It's fair. It's fair.
Yeah, I have a different opinion than I think everybody. I do not like What If. I have thoroughly not enjoyed it. I think it is too ridiculous. The things that they try to say would change because of this one change don't make any sense.
She had a real hard time with T'Challa's Star-Lord.
Well, not him as Star-Lord. That's fine.
But the repercussions.
The repercussions of like that doesn't actually doesn't even doesn't even make sense. Yeah, it just.
And there's a lot of things that are just taken as like that's the way it is for the conceit of the plot, because there's no way that he would have also just not looked in on Wakanda narratively in this one. So
yeah. So, but there was stuff, because there's stuff in the first episode that's the same that I'm like, so are we saying that, like it just completely changes too much for me. And so it didn't, I have not enjoyed it. Something tells me I'm going to be forced to continue to watch it.
Hey, you don't have to watch it. It's not part of our show, so I can just watch it by myself.
Sure.
All right, John, did you have anything else you wanted to bring up?
Watch the Suicide Squad. It was fun. It's unfortunate it's doing everybody's coming down on theater. But...
Oh, hey, John, how many times have you seen the trailer for Star Wars Visions? Because I've already watched it 5 times.
Since it debuted and I sent my first text message. So let me be specific. I've watched the actual trailer twice, once in Japanese and once in English.
Uh-huh.
And then I've been watching all of the reactors on YouTube that I'm subscribed to watching it. So maybe about 8 times now.
Yeah,
I've watched it 0.
That looks crazy. If you would like to watch it yourself, you can find it at Geekly Media on Twitter and probably facebook.com/Geekly Media too.
That is correct.
Yeah, you don't need to search YouTube. Just scroll through all the Geekly Media posts to find it. But it's utterly amazing. It looks so cool. It's anime Star Wars. I'm ready.
Where was this energy when the teaser images first came out? I was already hyped and super excited.
I was hyped.
I'm just sitting here alone. Like they put Leo Fotia into this movie.
I was hyped.
Hey,
and then I got more hyped when I actually saw it.
I've been hyped ever since the TIE Fighter fan production that came out like 8 years ago.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
I wish they'd made like a full thing about that. That thing was so good.
Okay. For my week's watch, I watched... Well, first, Steven left this one out because he and I watched a premiere of a movie together virtually. A friend of mine, full disclosure, a friend of mine, just old coworker, acquaintance, I don't know how you want to put it, made a movie. He wrote, directed a movie. It's called Zeus. It is a movie about a boxer who gets into... or defends an elderly Asian man who's being picked on because he's Asian, and we're in the pandemic during COVID times, and he defends that guy, knocks a guy out. It goes viral. The current middleweight champion of the world sees it, says, "I'm going to fight that guy now." So he has to train to fight for this belt. Chris Soriano is the writer, director, star. It is a movie with a very good message, and if you have the opportunity, go to the website zeusthemovie.com and see how you can watch it. Mm-hmm. For my actual week's watch, though, I watched the DC Films animated movie Batman: The Long Halloween Part 1 and Part 2.
How was that? There's some changes. There are a couple changes, and usually in the animated DC films they make certain changes, but the changes they made in this one I don't hate as much as like what they changed in Hush or some of their other movies. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Once again, David Dastmalchian, who you will know it now as Polka Dot Man, lends his voice to the cast. He is the voice of Calendar Man, which oddly enough, Sean Gunn was Calendar Man in the Suicide Squad. So you can, but he has more of a part in this. Calendar Man shows up to kind of be like, "Hey, Batman, you're screwing up." And that was the thing about this one. Like, a lot of people know the Long Halloween in comic book form as the one that shows Batman being like a very good detective. They decided Batman's not really a detective in this animated movie. Like you don't really say. In post 2010, they've decided Batman isn't a detective anymore.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they kind of do forget about that. According to Matt Reeves, the Batman that's coming out with Robert Pattinson is supposed to be more of a detective story, and Batman's supposed to be going back to being a detective. But the trailer that we saw has him just beating a dude to almost death in the trailer.
Huh. That just quick. DC does know what DC stands for, right?
What it used to stand for.
Yeah.
Does it stand for something different now?
Oh, it just stands for DC. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They don't even. It's not even Detective Comics anymore.
No.
Oh.
But yes, the world's greatest detective, not so much of a detective. I don't know if maybe they decided this is part of his year one and he hasn't met up with Henri Descartes yet, so he doesn't know how to be a detective.
I miss empathetic detective Batman.
But doesn't Descartes just teach him how to be a ninja?
Well, in the Nolan movies, yes. So yes, The Long Halloween is available on VOD. I was okay with the animation. I thought they definitely tried to get the same Tim Sale looking art as the original comic book, but definitely different still. Just like they usually do with these animated movies, they always try and get someone to copy a little bit of what the original artist did, but change it up. So I don't know, what were the differences that you heard about, Stephen?
And like honestly, I'm not a person who's reading a lot of Batman comics or anything. I just remembered when this film actually came out, people were really excited because it is still from kind of like the DC animated films are very popular. Mm-hmm. Just in general, I think there's some of the things that are the bright spots in DC's cinematic outings.
Yes,
and this one was one of the ones where people, while still being happy about the things that they had done, did seem to still be a little bit miffed about the changes. But it wasn't like what you had talked about earlier with the massive changes like in Hush.
One of the things that I think they definitely do in this one is they give you a more cut and dry resolution of who is the holiday killer, as opposed to the Long Halloween book, where it's definitely left up to being like 3 different people. So, yeah.
We need to get Rafa on the podcast for this one.
So, yeah, it's on VOD right now. You can watch part 1 and part 2. Okay, let's get into talking about Sweet Tooth, episode 5. What's in the freezer? The freezer. Well, actually, you know what? Since Elizabeth wasn't here last week and John wasn't here last week, what did you both think of episode 4 before we move on?
I hated Bobby.
You hate Bobby?
Yes.
Wait, why do you hate Bobby? He's like a little elf.
He's cute.
It pushes it too far in that direction. I'm willing to accept the human hybrids, but this is an animal hybrid. Like, this is more animal than human.
So this is what I take it as, which you are right, that it makes it, because I saw it more in this episode, it makes it more unrealistic to me. But it seems like if they're raised by humans, then they look more humans, and if they're not raised by humans, then they look like animals. And to me, that's not realistic. Like, it should be either way. Like, it should be, I don't know, like, because the change would have to happen after birth, from what I'm understanding. And there's no way that would happen that quickly, I don't think. Not that dramatically, at least, as far as I understand. But fantasy is fantasy. I don't know why I'm... Whatever.
I guess I chalked it up to just like some of us are taller than others, or some of us sunburn more easily, or
so some of us just came out more animal than human.
Well, I would think that, but every single one that's not Gus or Pigtails are animal, and those are the ones that were not, as far as you know, were caught, not raised by humans. From what I'm understanding, but
we also don't know how many of them just got poached. Like,
yeah.
Like when they're little baby ones, like the chances of someone being like, oh, it's just like a human, this one, versus the one that's going to be like, what the hell is this gopher thing? Jesus, and just taking it out of the world right there.
Yeah.
So, who knows? Me for episode 4, I still don't care for this TV show. It's just sad. It's just a sad show, like, all the time. it tries to be cute and lighthearted, and it fails miserably because it just makes me sad. Episode 4 was the first, right? Episode 4 was that?
Yep. Episode 4.
Okay. Just making sure I've got my numbers right. It was the first one where you really get like, there's been an obvious like politics or policy tilt to the whole thing that's kind of been undercurrent, but episode 4 is the first time you really see like in explicit terms, here are the exact politics we are trying to persuade you of. Like, we are literally going to state them. Great, thanks. Bye. So that was what caught my attention on that, and was my overall feeling. Episode 4.
Well, then going into episode 5, I want to go right into Dr. Singh and his wife's storyline of, wow, look, our dumb decisions have caught up to us in these terrible consequences.
100%.
Because you easily could have just been like, hey, our horse killed this person because she got too close and spooked the horse. But no, we went and hid the body inside the clinic.
He's also the doctor. He could have been like, yeah, she was freaking out because she thought she caught it because of that, like, when we were all around the guy. She came rushing over and she spooked the horse, and the horse kicked her. Literally anything.
All they had to do literally was just burn her body.
Yep.
He's a doctor. She had the sick. All he had to do was burn her body.
Put her in the house, burn her house down, just like they've been doing.
Just sing Auld Lang Syne really loud.
Is this supposed to be representing like a new year? Like, okay, we've started a new life now after we killed this person.
Because it's kind of creepy a song. It's kind of a creepy song to begin with, and so it just kind of fits. Because it's one of those things everybody sings like in celebration, but it's also just kind of creepy.
Nobody actually knows the origin of it, because I don't think it's originally a New Year song. It like turned into a New Year song.
Yeah.
That's just weird.
But
I looked up something for this a while back.
I think that's the whole point. I think it is just supposed to be weird.
It's a Scottish song by Robert Burns. So poem.
That tracks.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. You bid farewell. It is a song to bid farewell.
Okay. So normally we're bidding farewell to the old year.
It was for the old year to the new year, but now we're bidding farewell to that person that got sick, I assume.
Yeah.
To the thing that we did to that person.
To the thing that we bid farewell to our trauma and this person, and we bid farewell to let this be the end of this virus and let it not be a new wave.
A bunch of plastic wrap that we're never going to get back.
Well, okay, here's the part that I really, really struggle with. Like, I get burning the house. If you've got an infection, I can track with that. Why on earth don't you shoot them before burning the house down? Because to me, you're now just torturing them by burning them alive.
Because it's that mob mentality of the idea is like, well, we're not killing them. If we shoot them, then we've killed them and we're bad people. But if we're just burning the house down with them in it, then we're getting rid of the infection.
I'd also put forward the idea that humans just take a thing
generally
that's doing
awful.
Something. Yeah, like in the beginning of it, it probably was. They did a couple of other things, maybe give them an injection of something, or at the very least. But no, humans invariably almost are just like, yeah, no, let's take the thing that we did before, make it real extra fucked up, and then we'll keep doing it that way.
And honestly, probably what it was originally was like the person died from the sick, and then they were just like, okay, we'll just burn the house down with them in it, like with their carcass.
We'll just cremate the body.
Yeah, we're cremating the body and everything. But now it's like, well, we don't have time to wait for them to die. Let's just do it now.
Yeah, because there's no way standard practice being developed by somebody started with the plastic wrap thing. That did not start.
Yeah,
it was probably Janice's idea.
Nancy's
idea.
Nancy.
Karen.
Oh, that's what I wanted to call her, but I was like, that's not her name. That's just what she is. But I think Dr. Singh's speech was pretty on point. Like, no, this neighborhood isn't built on trust. It's built on paranoia and being
hypocrisy.
Hypocrisy. You're just being awful.
See, I was confused because I thought it was rock and roll. You know, like
that's the city was built on rock and roll.
Not the neighborhood.
Okay, yeah,
not
this
the
is more
neighborhood.
of a town.
It's just a neighborhood. I also find it very poetic that while you don't necessarily have medical care in every community, you do have a fast food joint.
Yep. You're definitely going to find a fast food restaurant in every joint. Jessica, you've been trying to say something.
I was trying to say that technically with the amount of gasoline that they were pouring, the doctor and Ronnie, they should have passed out before the flames got to them. But there was quite a bit of gasoline pouring, so it also should have. But to be fair, the fire should have flared up a lot quicker because of the amount of gas fumes that was in there. Or possibly not flare up at all because there might have been not enough oxygen with the amount of fumes. It kind of depends. It really takes a very perfect equation to make fire.
Those arsonists, they really have it down. You don't want to be an amateur arsonist.
You're doing it wrong.
The daughter of a firefighter.
She knows.
You love the blaze, don't you?
For the beginning of the episode, there was the scene that we had with Dr. Robotnik Badman, who comes to talk to the doctor.
No, he's the Mandarin.
That's fair.
Oh yeah.
I already said he was what was it, low rent J.K. Simmons.
Yes, very much so.
I'd say Ben Kingsley.
He definitely comes off a lot more like Ben
Just bald man, Yeah.
Anyway,
in the beginning of it, there's a thing that he says to the doctor that says there's two types of people in this world. There's one, the people who let this disease, this virus, kill them, their families, and everything. And then he says, and there's also the other kind of person who is the soldier who would do anything to stop it. And
Yeah.
The thing that was interesting about that is that I can see in our current real world situation, people on both sides of this kind of problem, which is weird to have sides at all, but both of the sides that we've ended up with in this world, listening to that man say that and both go, yeah.
and thinking they're the soldier.
Thinking they're
the right one.
100% thinking they're the soldier.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting time we live in.
And I personally appreciate that she's like, oh, I think you're a monster. Like, you're not a soldier. You're not, you're just a monster.
I want to be like, you sure there's not the logical third person? Like, just,
I mean,
the world's not black and white, people.
I just want to talk about, like, I honestly did not recognize that was the doctor from the earlier episodes, right? When this episode started. No,
I'm the one who recognized.
I recognized it. Yeah.
Well, I didn't figure it out until he's like, faking your death from a terminal illness, and I'm like, wait. So did she just walk off one day and no one even questioned it, just assuming her body would just disappear?
I got breast cancer. Bye.
I didn't think that she said that she had died. I think that she basically was like doing the sunset of her life. That was what she's supposed to be doing after having handed the stuff off to Aditya.
Right.
I will like to say about that scene too. Sorry, John. That like her catching the moth and then it flying out of her hands after she answers the door very much seemed like panel by panel a comic book panel. I wonder if that was directly from the comic book because something about it felt like it was like an artistic comic book panel set kind of thing.
Probably.
So,
what are you gonna say, John?
That poster that we saw, or that billboard. Wasn't that the narrator?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't even see a billboard.
Yeah, it's your time.
Because there was a lot of talk about time comes for everyone.
Old doctor's house and zoom out.
Yeah, it's the narrator guy, the one who's supposed to be big bad man.
Wait, the narrator is James
Neutral.
Brolin,
and that's who's in that picture. But that's not the Abbott guy because that's low rent whoever bald actor with the glasses.
So yeah, Abbott,
George Costanza.
Abbott shows up and kills the doctor after he tells her that, or she tells him that all her notes in her book were left to Dr. Singh, which then gets us to the end of the episode where he saves the Singhs from being burned alive after, I assume, shooting all the neighbors that were outside.
No, they do say some of them can leave. If you don't leave now, we're going to kill you. But I assume they did shoot some of them to get people to leave.
And then putting the fires out. Like, obviously, he doesn't care about the sickness all that much because he's he just doesn't. Is he just a leader that knows it's not transmittable in that way?
He probably has the whatever thing.
Secret sauce.
The
Secret
antidote,
sauce.
the secret sauce.
There you go, that thing. Yeah.
My guess is he's also somebody who's like, individual deaths do not matter. We need to figure out how to eradicate this thing. So if it ends up killing a few more people to get there, so be it.
Now, is there any... Well, I wonder why they didn't just shoot or burn the doctor lady. They took a syringe with that same looking fluid that Pubba had when he went to go fight the people that were like encroaching into their land. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, there's more evidence now that Pubba was probably involved much more deeply into the science portion of this than we're led to assume. Probably a researcher, maybe one of the people responsible for this kind of thing. But yeah, like, is that what they're doing? Is they're giving people the sick, or is that something else we don't know about?
Which I can't imagine the show is really good for the, community in general, like our society and the whole conspiracy theories. Just like the last one that Utopia was like.
So you stumbled into it, Mitch. You stumbled into the thing I was gonna say. This guy plays Wilson in the original Utopia series.
Who does?
Aditya Singh.
Yeah.
He played Wilson?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't.
The original European series.
Yeah.
Ah, got you. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Which is much better, by the way. I did watch the whole first season, and I'm like, this is the show we should have watched, not this bastardized version.
I did want to bring up in the first scene with the doctor that they have that Blondie song and how it gets all creepy. Like, is that how that song usually goes, or was that like a weird remix?
No, weird remix.
That was a remix. But interesting to note, this is the second time this week I've heard that song. It was also used in the trailer for House of Gucci.
That's right. I was wondering where I heard that recently too.
Yeah, it looks. I want to see that movie. That looks like pure Oscar bait.
Okay, so then getting over to our main story with Sweet Tooth and Big Man and Bear. Bear, and I don't know if she's going to be going by a different name now, but she's still going by Bear, has information on Sweet Tooth's mother, or at least the lady that's in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
somehow
a little bit.
So yeah, they have a really good like network of people apparently.
I don't know if they had a good network, because honestly it feels like the kind of thing where you're like, what happened to that person from high school, and you type in their name or whatever to just the internet, and you see what you get. You don't get anything, and so then you try like, what was their middle name? Okay, and then you like narrow it down a little bit, and you get half pieces of information that aren't really true, and it's actually about like some 91-year-old person from your hometown with the same name. Mm-hmm. That seems like the quality of information they gave her or gave to him.
But there's no internet right now. Like,
I think there's still something.
There's
for this.
probably still some internet.
They were network gaming at the very least. They could be doing LAN gaming. They could still be doing like a whole LAN party.
I'm sure that was more LAN than network.
Well, the internet won't ever really go away as long as servers are still running and there's electricity.
They seem to have access to a police database for some reason. That's what I was assuming, honestly.
Well, there's some sort of connective network if the bad guy's able to track people.
Yeah. Or maybe it's a bad guy's database, whatever it is, not necessarily a police database.
The doctor told her told him what city she was in, so just go to that. There's not that many people in that community anymore. But you're right. Yes, the Dr. Singh. Oh, we did skip over that. There was no hybrids according to the paper that he got, and that's how they got discovered with the Nancy in the freezer.
But we did learn about the animal preserve, or the hybrid, not the animal preserve, how the hybrid preserve in the zoo.
True. We did. They have taken in quite a bit of hybrids. Mm-hmm. And what is the lady's name? Played by Danae Garcia or Danae?
I don't remember.
Annie?
Sure.
Or Annie?
Pigtail's mom.
Pigtail's mom. she kind of like suss out who is good to come in or who's not or who might be a threat. Do you think that the person on the other person on the line was a threat, or was it an actual person that needed help?
I think it's a bad person.
Oh no, that was a threat.
Yeah,
that was a definite threat.
because if your goal is to get the hybrid treatment and get them into the preserve, and you know that the rules are X, you don't push that hard to get their location. You can ask once, but once you go beyond that, and he never asked if I'm in that situation and I go, you want me to leave them here overnight? I don't think they're going to make it. Is there something you can recommend I do till you get here? Is there something that can help? Can you walk me through how to do something?
Yeah.
You don't just keep asking for the location.
Yeah. Or they didn't even do anything from their end as the other person on the other end of the radio to try to figure out whether this thing that they're taking this creature to is legit or not.
Yeah.
And if they genuinely care about this being, they're going to ask. At least I would personally.
See, I have problems with the logistics of this because she looks like she's in a major metropolitan area.
Yeah.
It's very limited range you can go to direct people like, oh, come to like this particular location. I'm assuming she's willing to put in maybe a day's worth of walking or, riding if she has a bicycle.
Yeah.
At that point, I think it gets easier to triangulate her position.
I mean, obviously,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It's very dangerous what she's doing, and
Yeah.
the whole thing is like anybody could follow her. The only thing I can imagine is that since she is in the middle of a major metropolitan area, which I believe is Essex County, which Jeff Lemire, the creator of the comic book, is also from, she has like little alleyways and secret passages that she also takes to get back.
But how did she commission an airplane to drop off leaflets all over the place?
I don't know.
Another organization like Bear's Army,
or there's bird hybrid people.
No, this was an airplane that dropped off.
I think we saw a plane.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember.
Unless that bird would have had the weirdest case of flatulence.
But yeah,
that's how he gets airborne.
I would imagine that there's probably other organizations that are kind of not a network, but kind of a loose conglomerate.
Maybe that will be in the next episode or a future episode. We'll see that she isn't doing this alone. She has some type of security, so to speak, that is also helping her, because like honestly, there's no way that she would have been able to bring in those hybrids and not get detected.
Well, there is also the idea that we're being delivered events that are drastically different in the timeline.
Oh yes,
and so that place could have already fallen.
True.
And then they're directing people to it, and that's been where they hand out the secret sauce from.
Yeah.
They co-opted it, and now it's just a trap.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That would make more sense.
That was the same thing that happened in the Ladies with Powers HBO show.
I didn't get around to watching it.
Damn, the Nevers.
The Nevers. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Someone just put out those pamphlets saying you come to our school, and then it ended up not going to the school.
Yes.
Yeah, they were like, that's not my house. What does this say?
Where they perform lobotomies. It's fine.
We got to see, well, I love that Sweet Tooth did not believe that people would just fall from the sky with a magic blanket, but then they had to be like, nope. Yep, you're right. We were pulling your chain.
Yep, we totally were. Don't look around. Don't look around.
I appreciated that silent communication between Big Man and Bear, who clearly don't like each other, but are like, okay, we have one common thread here.
And
protect
then
the innocents.
The whole like instant into mother-father dichotomy when we got that break part. Like, stop yelling at him. You just missed his hair.
100%. They're gonna have a moment. That's
I'm not yelling. Straight up, my parents. Just I'm not yelling.
Oh no, I did appreciate that when she said it's not helping, And Big Man goes, "It's helping me," which is honestly it is the most honest response as to why people yell. Just it makes me feel better.
And then Sweet Tooth falls into the plants.
Plant thingies.
The thing that's clearly going to be the cure.
Yeah,
and it
exactly.
And it irritates me that the society would have fallen, and not a single doctor would have been like, these plants that grow.
Okay, well, so
people who are sick. We're not going to at least test.
I have a thing for this.
Okay.
Like, so people consider the idea of Italian food being all based in like pastas, like pizza, and things like that. And tomatoes are featured heavily in there. But the time when they started eating tomatoes is not that long ago.
No.
Everyone just looked at it and was like, that's poison. That's nightshade.
Well, the same thing was said about the potato, and we eat that all the time too.
Yeah, no, because we're idiots.
Yeah.
But then at some point, like we won't eat anything, but somehow we just organically ended up smoking everything. What the fuck?
Yeah. Well, like one of my favorite things about medicine in general, like quote about medicine, which I don't know who originally said this or where I even heard it from, but like too little and it's spice, too much and it's poison, just the right amount and it's medicine. Like,
hey, people eat fugu for fun.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah.
So that's okay.
But yeah, definitely someone would have experimented. And maybe that someone did experiment and they accidentally died or was like, it just gave me crazy hallucinations.
So that's what I wanted to bring up is that at first when you see him down there, he's obviously hallucinating, but then he has a vision of Abbott, which is a person he's never met or shouldn't have no idea what he looks like.
Yeah.
Those flowers are actually spice melange. He's seeing across time and space.
Oh,
it's from Dune.
Oh, it's from Dune. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's the silent one? No.
This episode, John, this episode is called Furries Are the Mind Killer.
The sleeper has awakened.
We can end it right there. We're done.
Now, do you think that this is a side effect of the plant, or is this another thing that hybrids have? Do they have some type of clairvoyance?
Yes, he's the king of the forest.
They have all the things. Yeah, they can see. They have the mind's eye.
Or it's a writing fault, and they forgot he hadn't met Abbott yet. It could be that too.
All of the above.
All of the above.
Or we come to find out he did meet Abbott.
He has met Abbott in the past. So just a part of the past that we hadn't seen
When he was
yet.
a baby.
Wait, is Abbott Bubba?
Is the beard just
My guess is Abbott was funding Pubba and Birdie's research that created Gus.
I'll go with this. Absolutely.
And so
he wasn't afraid of it. He wasn't afraid of the virus. Was not wearing a mask.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be crazy if at one point we see Abbott and he's like changing or something, or like he's got a wound he's got to dress, so he strips down and he has a little vestigial tail. And it's like
he was a hybrid way back when.
Yeah, he was the patient zero or something.
I mean, he'd have it'd be a tail making him like a goat. That's why he has the beard. Like
maybe the virus was intended to get rid of the hybrids. Maybe he created the virus to rid the world of the original virus, the hybrids.
If he takes his glasses off,
maybe.
If he takes his glasses off, he's gonna have those horizontal pupils.
Yeah.
What kind of eyes?
The horizontal.
The compound pupils.
Eyes.
I didn't know goats had horizontal eyes.
Yeah.
Instead of this way.
Oh.
Yeah, goats are creepy.
You haven't lived on a farm before.
Nope. Don't go near goats either. They headbutt you.
They do.
Or you can make them faint by screaming at them.
Although clearly the hero of this episode was Trixie the horse. Just saying.
Because she killed the lady?
Yep.
Oh, so that was last episode.
That was the last episode.
Oh, that was the last episode. Never mind.
But
Sorry.
you watched.
I guess the hero of this entire season is going to be Trixie the horse.
Trixie the horse is the hero of the story.
Trixie turned out to be one of those more animal than human hybrids. She
She's like, I'm
Mr.
done
Ed.
with you.
Trixie watching them like almost get burned to death, just like, why didn't you just blame it on me? I literally gave it to you.
I did this for you.
Let's put
Okay.
it to a vote. All the nays.
Was there anything else that anybody would want to bring up about this episode?
Oh yeah, I did forget to mention during my week's watch. I also was going to bring up a trailer I watched recently called Lamb,
Episode.
and it was basically like evil Sweet Tooth. From what I got the feeling of it, I'm like, this is like what reality would be like. You had people that be like, "Oh, my half animal thing is like so cute," and be like, "No, this is evil."
Lamb chop.
James Gunn's James Gunn's Sweet Tooth.
Yes, that's what it is. This is like Brightburn, Sweet Tooth, like combined. It's gonna be nightmare fuel.
That trailer takes so many different turns.
And but it has what makes it evil, kind of like listening to the Blondie song in this episode. It takes a really sweet Beach Boys song, the God Only Knows, and it just becomes dark at the end.
I mean, I feel like that's all trailers now. Just take an oldie song, slow it down at some point, make it creepy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jordan Peele.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did want to side note to this, but going back to my week's watch, the Suicide Squad, which was written by James Gunn, has a Johnny Cash song, and the song "These Are People Who Have Died," which were also in another James Gunn movie, Dawn of the Dead. It was a different Johnny Cash song, but they both start with the Johnny Cash song, and they have the song "These Are People Who Have Died" in it. I was like,
that one that is from my favorite Johnny Cash album, Live at Folsom Prison.
Yeah,
it's a good album.
Okay, so if no one else has anything about this episode, we'll go ahead and cut it there. If you want to talk to me on Twitter about this or anything else that we talked about today, you can find me. I am at Mitchipedia GEM. GEM stands for Geek Elite Media. Steven, where can people find you online?
I'm not online.
Okay, don't find Steven online.
Go watch some stuff on YouTube.
Geek Elite Media is on YouTube. You can find our channel there and watch some of our videos. Jessica, where can people find you online?
I am online. You can find me as J.M. Bailey Writes. I talk mainly about Disney on it and shenanigans.
John?
I am right now still on social media. You can find me mostly on Twitter and Instagram, surprisingly. I do spend some time there. And I am at Magic Bollocks.
The way that you said I am still on social media made me think of something else that's in current news, and I don't want to say it because it's going to put us off on a tangent. So, Elizabeth, where can people find you online?
You can find me with the rest of Geek Elite Media at Geek Elite Media and our Facebook page /Geek Elite Media. That's a great place to ping Mitch and ask him what on earth he's talking about.
Yeah, thank you.
The rest of Geek Elite Media, as she said, is on Geek Elite Media. You can find it everywhere. Check out our website, geekelitemedia.com, for more podcasts from our network that are either archived or that are archived. And then check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Geek Elite Media, for exclusive material that you can only get if you're one of our patrons. And whatever podcatcher you use to listen to us, please rate and review us. It helps spread the word of our network. But until next time, this is the Geeks Watch on the Geek Elite Media Network, saying always remember to geek out.
Geek out.
This concludes our broadcast. Beep.